Hey guys, this week we're talking about kid-friendly recipes and how to make the perfect pot roast.
All while having a whole lot of fun.
Oh, we forgot to talk about your steak.
So I went hiking in the woods when we were down in Shawnee, and I found this stick that made the perfect walking stick. So then I thought I'd whittle it down into something, and I thought I'd make it look like a snake, you know, like Moses' staff was turned into a snake, and then I thought I'd turn a snake into a staff or whatever, and I started whittling, and it turned into a duck. Hi, and welcome back to As Goode as It Gets.
I'm Cris.
And I'm Mikey.
And this is a weekly chat from our kitchen.
Our real kitchen. We're home. We are back from the Shawnee National Forest.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes, we had a blast. We produced all kinds of content. We did all kinds of cooking. We did all kinds of traveling and hiking, and we're able to take you guys along. And so you've seen some of those episodes this week, and then I think it's going to go on.
There should be two more. There should be two more for next week. At least two more.
Yeah. So how did you guys like that? Did you like coming along with us in the camper kitchen?
We liked having you there.
Yeah. If you don't follow us on Instagram, make sure you follow Recipes That Crock. I think at Recipes That Crock, because we're sharing like snapshots and all that kind of stuff. We're even also on the website, we're adding the camper kitchen to our main menu, so you guys can kind of capture all the recipes that we cook whenever we travel. And then we may put camping tips, and then also just like cooking on the go kind of tips. And even if you're not traveling, I think it's going to have something for everyone there. So that's going to be kind of fun.
I'm kind of proud because I feel like I'm a more seasoned camper now.
Yes.
And we got to experience a lot more of that while driving home. I was so confident and, well, let's just face it, cocky. Because hitching up the trailer to the truck's no big deal anymore.
It's getting better. Yeah.
Swinging wide out when you're going right. You know, I've got that down.
I just close my eyes.
She just prays a lot. And hangs onto that OS handle.
Yeah.
If anybody knows what that is.
I said this whole adventure's really helped my prayer life.
Well, come last weekend when we drove home, it absolutely helped my prayer life because it was my first time pulling that thing in the wind.
Yes, we got some really bad crosswinds on the way home, and it was but it did good. I mean, it was definitely okay. We got to pay attention.
Once that first wind hit, because I wasn't thinking nothing of it. I was driving because after a while you get used to it. You know you're pulling something heavy. You know your rig is a lot longer now. You got something attached to the back of the truck, but I wasn't worried about it at all because I'm like, I've done this. I feel it. I got the feel for the brakes. I know when to slow down, stuff like that. So I'm kicked back. Got the cruise control on, going about 70, which the speed limit was 70, so I'm going right on the speed limit, and then the wind came out of nowhere, and I could see in my mirror the rear end was doing one of these, and then all of a sudden the truck started doing it too, because it's all hooked together, and I didn't want it to ever not be hooked together, so I slowed it down. It took us a lot longer to get home than I thought it would.
But once you slowed down and got the hang of it, it did fine. Yeah. And so we're learning.
I totally get it now why those people hauling trailers were only going 45 miles an hour on the road, and I had to pass them.
Yes, everybody else had already learned that lesson before we did.
Yeah.
So that's been a big thing. We've got more adventures planned. We've decided that we're probably going to start doing some other smaller trips too before we head out west for the big trip next summer, just to kind of we're still stretching our legs. We're also really learning how to cook on the go and how to make sure that we take the right kind of footage so that we can take you guys along, because we're really enjoying that, because we see you guys commenting about remembering either camping with your family or some of your favorite spots.
We picked up some subscribers that are full-time RVers, which is awesome to kind of connect with them and get to know them.
Yeah, so we're gonna be doing some more of that kind of stuff in the future, and we'll let you guys know as that comes out. But yeah. In other news this week, we had our first Crock partner chat with our Patreon patrons. who are our Crock partners that you oftentimes see at the end of the video, that's a part of that. So if you want to check that out, the link to that is down below on how to become a Crock partner. But one of the things we chatted about with them is something that we've heard from some of you guys too, is that you guys are missing the Church Song Sunday and the work week wind down. And so
I'm missing it too.
Yes, we are. It's just with what travel we had, we were joking that we've been like the Wi-Fi hunters because we have had so much trouble getting consistent Wi-Fi. So, but we are going to be in a place where we can have consistent Wi-Fi on this Sunday. So we are going to bring Church Song Sunday live back this Sunday.
There's a however in all this. We're going to do it, and we're going to do it just like we have before, except we're moving. Not our house or nothing like that. We're going to still do it right here at the house, I think, more than likely.
Yeah.
But with restrictions and stuff that YouTube puts on things, we're not going to do it on YouTube anymore.
Yeah.
Because we've done lives in the past, and you know, you get all these notifications of copyright, not in copyright infringements, but I'm like, when I put the live videos up, none of that gets monetized, but there's still these copyright things with YouTube. Now,
I think YouTube's being really, really careful right now because of all kinds of controversies that have happened, and so it's just like kind of really made that stuff not as, like, it doesn't reach as many people as it used to. So what we've decided to do is, and we'll put a link to this group down below, is we've decided to move those live kinds of things when we're able to do them over to the Facebook group.
Yeah, and one of the other things is, you know, we wouldn't notify you guys on YouTube when we were going to do the lives. We would notify people through the Facebook group, and then they would have to go from the Facebook group over to live. So like, you know what? Facebook does a live, and we're not monetizing this stuff. We're just doing it to have a good time.
Yeah, so we're going to try our Church Song Sunday live over in the Facebook group this Sunday. So at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time.
3 p.m. Indiana time.
Yes.
If you're not in Indiana, it's different, and well, you'll just have to figure that out.
Yes.
But like right now, we're taping this at 2:11 in the afternoon.
That makes no difference to them
That's
because
true,
they're not going to see this when you're taping it, dear.
Okay. How about this? I will put a message, a little shout out on the group and say, hey, we're going to do the live in an hour.
Yes.
And then a half hour or something like that.
Yes. So we're going to do it at 3 p.m. because Mikey's leading worship at church this Sunday, and so that'll give him time to get back so we can get set up.
Have lunch.
And then we will do that. We'll try that over on Facebook and see if that's successful. Like, meaning that you guys can actually see it when it happens and it doesn't get like... Because we were doing some of those lives and they were getting like completely yanked off of YouTube. So if you weren't there right when we were live...
You weren't seeing it.
Some people, like, sometimes didn't even get to see it. So we didn't want, we want to make sure that if we spend the time to do it, that everybody has the chance to see it.
So if you are on Facebook and you're not a part of the group, it doesn't cost anything to be a part of the group. It just costs you one click. You just got to click and say, I want to join. And then we'll say, okay, you can join. And then you could be a part of it.
So we'll put the link down below of the Facebook group that's associated with this channel.
Yep. And then just become a part of it. If you're not on Facebook, well, you got to get there.
Oh.
So you got plenty of time, and we'll see you Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. So how about some Friday favorites?
Okay.
This week, Aunt Lou put together some kid-friendly Friday favorites. And so whenever I was telling her some of the recipes I'd like to see on there, I, of course, was biased by what Miss Ad likes to eat. And so... her, what I would say her daddy-influenced favorite, what do you think that would be, my dear?
Mississippi chicken! Legs.
Yes. Miss Ad, if given her choice, prefers chicken legs over any other kind of chicken. She does like chicken wings pretty well, too. But that's because they look like little legs sometimes, too, I think. But no, she loves, loves, loves the Mississippi chicken legs. And we even did a Kids in the Kitchen and showed you how she helps make them. So that's one of her favorites. And then I would say another big favorite for her is the creamy pizza soup. I know last week week Mikey was talking about his favorite pizza soup, and this is a creamy version of that soup that's very, very, very yummy. And then when you talk about what the reader favorite that has like a kid-friendly tone to it.
Why does it just gotta be the reader favorite? It's kind of my favorite too.
Our no-bake cookies are super popular. I think it's because it like keeps all the mess in the crock pot and it does the work for you, and they come out great every time. We absolutely love them. So our crock pot no-bakes are another that's on that list. If you want to see the full list of this past week's Friday favorites, Aunt Lou has put it all together, and we'll put a link down below.
What do you say we get to some reader questions, comments, emails, and what have you?
I love it.
Reader emails.
Alrighty, so this week we have gotten, I think, no less than 3 or 4 emails about pot roast. People, emails, comments, and everything. People are asking for some tips about how to make a really good pot roast. And probably one of the #1 things that we get asked is, you know, my roast turns out too tough. How do I change that? So what would you say to that? If somebody has a problem with their roast being too tough?
Chew it more.
No.
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 Cook it longer.
Cook it longer. Typically, a roast gets more tender with time. So making sure you're cooking it low and slow, as we say. I don't ever recommend cooking our pot roasts on high. I always cook them low, 8 to 10 hours until they like fall apart. That is the goal. I would say also, if you're not getting the texture that you want, you might want to make sure you're trying a chuck roast. I think they have the most success. Nice and marbled. Because I know a lot of times people look for super lean cuts of meat, but let's just be honest. When you're cooking a pot roast, you're cooking comfort food, and when you take the fat out of that roast and you don't have a roast with a nice marble on it, then you're also taking away the flavor.
Yeah,
and
you're taking away the flavor, and you're taking away the fact that it's going to dry out and become a piece of cardboard.
Yeah, so you want to get a nice marbled piece of meat, and then I would say 8 to 10 hours on low for anywhere, you know, it's going to be less time for a smaller roast than a bigger roast. But if it's tough, just put the lid back on, cook it for another hour, come back and check it. We also got a really great note this week from Carlton. He was sharing about working with the Instant Pot, and he has a bigger Instant Pot, an 8-quart, and he says one of the tips that, you know, something, because we use a 6-quart on the site, he says that one of the differences if you're converting to a bigger electric pressure cooker, he says you need to watch that liquid level. So that liquid level is what allows that Instant Pot or electric pressure cooker to come up to pressure. So he was mentioning like on our deli roast where the 6-quart had enough to reach pressure, but it didn't have enough liquid in it to reach pressure for the 8-quart Instant Pot. So that's something to consider. If you're using a bigger cooking vessel, you might add a little bit more liquid. I think he said he added about a cup of like chicken broth or beef broth, or I honestly, off the top of my head, I'm not exactly sure, but probably beef broth since it was a beef dish. But you can add just a cup of liquid in there, and that helps that pressure cooker reach pressure and get under pressure to cook for the length of time. We've also gotten some other, I would say, if you're using an Instant Pot or an electric pressure cooker, you also need to pay attention to the size of the meat that you're using. If you were using a 2 or 3 pound roast, ours usually we put under high pressure for 60 minutes. But if we're using like a 5 pound roast, like something big, then I usually cook that 75 minutes, sometimes all the way up to 90 to get it to the tenderness that I want. So that's something to consider. If you have a smaller roast, I keep it around 60 minutes. If you have a bigger roast, then you're going to want to add some time to that. But that, I mean, that's pretty much I hope that those tips help people. I think one of the things that confuses the most people is that you would think that tough roasts mean that they've cooked too long, and usually a tough roast means it hasn't cooked long enough.
Right.
So I think that's the big confusing thing for a lot of people.
And then one thing I think that I helped to confuse some people with the other day, whenever I made the instant pot roast, perfect pot roast, there are a lot of people were saying, oh, well, the reason it shot out like that is because there was too much liquid. No, the reason it shot out is because I didn't let it naturally release. I quick released it. And you got to think about this. You got all that pressure that's built up in that thing, and there's only one little hole for it to come out.
Right.
I don't care if it's in the bottom of the pot, it's going to try and shoot out the top because the pressure is going to go out and it sucked all that up.
Right.
So,
if you have a certain level, like if you have less than a cup of juice, like total, that's come from the meat and everything, usually you can get away with quick release, but a lot of people don't like to quick release their roasts and those kinds of things anyways because they feel like it kind of dries the meat out. So a natural release for 15 minutes lets a lot of that kind of release out, and then you can flip it to quick release to let the rest out. Or if it starts to spew gravy, you always just knock it back.
Yeah, don't cover it with a paper towel.
No,
just flick the little
you don't want to be messing with those hot liquids and that kind of thing. You just like get it.
There's still a little gravy.
Yeah, I'm sure. But no, that's something that and I think that also was scary to some people, and I totally understand that. But there really isn't a lot to be scared about. You just, if all else fails, natural release it. If you're scared it has too much liquid. But there's actually a little fill line inside your Instant Pot and most electric pressure cookers that shows you where not to fill above. And he definitely did not have his liquid too high for that. Now, if you were using smaller than a 6-quart, you might have had too much liquid in there. It would have boiled over during cooking and that kind of stuff. But that wasn't the case. It was because the instructions said to naturally release, and the husband decided he was going to go for a quick release because he had somewhere to be.
Patience is a virtue.
Yes, yes, yes. So how about, one more thing, also with the reader questions that have come this week. We've talked about this the last couple weeks. I keep getting emails about the casserole crock. Everybody is like feeling like they want something. Like I keep getting asked on a regular basis if we could put out a cookbook on the casserole crock. And so what I'm thinking about doing is putting together like something quick and easy, maybe an ebook or something like that on the casserole crock, because people, I get almost daily emails asking about this. So is that something you guys would be interested in? It would be something that I would move. I know we've talked about doing cookbooks before, but this is something that I'm hearing, like I said, on a daily basis that people would really like some additional guidance with it, because I think it's a really nice piece of equipment. But I also think that it, much like the Instant Pot, can be intimidating sometimes because it doesn't operate exactly the way we always think it should. But it has such great potential. So if that's something you'd be interested in, I'd love to hear down below, and I will start working on figuring out how that's going to fit into the schedule of all the things we're doing. But enough of that. You've prepared us a menu.
I have.
Time for the weekly menu.
So let's hear it.
For this week, Monday, we're still going to go with chicken. But we're not going to go with Mississippi chicken this time. I don't want to wear y'all out with the Mississippi stuff. We'll probably have something next week on that. But I think for Monday, one of the easiest dishes that you could possibly do, and this, I believe, was what led you, in a way, to doing a slow cooker site, was the Rotisserie Chicken. You can't get much easier than this, y'all, and this is delicious.
Yes.
Rosemary on top, got the seasoned salt that's soaking down into the chicken.
It's super easy to throw together, and I think sometimes a whole chicken is intimidating to people, but I think this is the dish for people who might be intimidated by cooking a whole chicken because it is so simple.
It's like almost foolproof. Yeah, I could almost not mess that up.
Oh goodness. But
just have that with whatever veggies you want, because this is the star of the show. Tuesday, going along with a little more Taco Tuesday. How about the taco ravioli casserole? Now I remember when my wife was working on this dish, and she worked on it a couple times, and then when she perfected it, and she's like, I got it, and she gave me a bite of it, and I thought, that's weird, ravioli and taco, and she put it over lettuce, and I thought it was all weird and everything. Dude, seriously good. Kids love tacos, kids love ravioli. You put that all together in a casserole, and the whole family's going to dig it.
Now, this is one that I always try to tell people that I know that it may not sound all that great when you first read the ingredients, but you're just going to have to trust me. It actually is really good together.
That works very well together.
Yeah. So I would suggest, if you don't want to use the canned ravioli, I know some people that's just like a no-go for them. You could use frozen. It's not going to taste the same. But I will tell you the combination of flavors, because you're using that ravioli as more of an ingredient than actually eating it like you would eat it, on a, random weeknight or something. So I just would, I think it's one that's worth people giving a try because it is yummy.
Wednesday is leftover day. If you want to have leftovers. I mean, you're going to have a whole chicken, and you're probably going to have some of that taco ravioli casserole unless I come over and there won't be nothing left. But let's say that you don't want to have leftovers or you don't have any left. Let's go on with some soup. In fact, let's go on with some potato bacon soup. Because
bacon.
Potatoes and bacon, yes.
Hey.
I'm completely
You can't go wrong with potato soup.
You can't go wrong with bacon in anything.
No.
Thursday, we're going to get a little more complex here. Have a little big family get together and have the beef tips with gravy and a side of corn casserole.
I love corn.
This is where I go with home cooking, because beef tips and gravy, you got your meat and you got it in that really good thick gravy, and then on the side of that you got this really sweet corn dish.
Yes.
Oh.
It almost screams Sunday or holidays a little bit. So.
Nothing wrong with having a little Sunday on a Thursday.
No.
And then talking about having your kids back in the kitchen, and kids like pizza, kids like burgers, so why not put them together on a Friday and make the crock pot pizza burgers?
Pizza burgers are a kid favorite. They are something that I've loved since childhood. I know,
and again, it's one of those recipes where you don't like mushrooms, don't put mushrooms in. If you want to put peppers in, think about it. Whatever you want on a pizza.
Whatever you put on pizza, you put on the burger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. Maybe with a side of fries, And then for this week's snack, how about some apple butter?
'Tis the season.
This goes good on bread, toast,
yeah,
fingers. As long as it's going to my belly, I don't care what the way you transmit it there is. And for breakfast this week, tried and true. In fact, I know this because I made this for breakfast/lunch today.
Yes, he did.
Is the bacon, egg, cheese casserole. Now, I want to talk about this for a minute. We just did a video, a Cooking Chris's Dishes video back when we were in the Shawnee National Forest, and I made breakfast for everybody one day and made this. And you know how you make something and then you're like, but I think I can make it just a little better. I found out the way to make it a lot better.
No.
For me.
You like it. I like it the other way better.
I've had people say I would add more bacon. Yes. Well, I followed that advice, and I used a full 1.5 pounds of thick sliced bacon.
It was good. It just wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same. I liked it. Miss Ad, did you like it? Mm-hmm. Me and Miss Ad are big bacon fans.
It was good, but I liked how fluffy and light with the less bacon it was. And it made it more solid with
I liked it meaty and dense with all that bacon. But I think we can both agree on the dessert. Yes. This week's dessert will be the Peachy dump cake.
Yes, an Aunt Lou special.
That's an Aunt Lou special. It's a Mikey favorite.
Yes.
And you name me a fruit, and I'm gonna go for peaches. Now I like pumpkin. I guess are pumpkins fruit?
I don't know.
They're a gourd, which is part of the squash family, which would be a vegetable. So no. I think are squashes vegetables or are squashes vegetables or fruit? Leave it down in the comments below. Now I'm going to have to Google it. Anyway, how we got from pumpkins to peaches and back to pumpkins again, I don't know.
I don't know.
But peachy dump cake. Sweet,
Yes.
tangy, fluffy.
Yes.
Kind of like
Creamy.
me. Well, I'm not very creamy,
No.
but sweet, tangy, and fluffy.
There.
But very, very good. But that is the menu for this week. If you try any of these recipes, let us know how they turned out. And if you want something featured on a weekly menu in the future, say, hey, Mikey, this is what I think you should have on
He's
a
trying
Tuesday.
to get you to do his job.
It pays well. It pays in winks. But that is the weekly menu.
Yeah, and that is our show.
Show enough is.
Don't forget to connect with us at the Facebook group so you can join us for Church Song Sunday. And when we can fit a work week wind down, we're going to do that in the Facebook
Yes.
group as well. So you're going to definitely
all
want to
the
connect.
live stuff goes through Facebook.
Yes. So, or I guess it would be like this, not like this. I don't know. Yes, who knows? All right, guys, if you enjoyed this show, we would love for you to give us a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed and a member of the Crock Posse, we're like all about the hand signals.
We could be stewardesses.
No. We would...
Exits are to the front, the rear, and the side. Actually, the only exit for this is that little X.
Yeah,
right over
please
there.
don't.
Don't click that yet.
Yeah, so definitely make sure you're subscribed to be a member of the Crock Posse. And if you want to be a Crock partner or check out what we've got going on over on Patreon, check us out at Patreon/recipes-that-crock.
That's patreon.com/recipes-that-crock.
Sorry. Oh. Send us your questions.
Send us your comments.
Bye.
Bye.
How to make the perfect pot roast. That's all we're doing.
I didn't know that. Oh, we're having a whole lot of fun. Try it again. Really? Christmas songs? It's not even Halloween yet? Week 5.
No, it's 6.
You sure? I'm not going through this with you again. You're always right. And I will be deleting that part.
I got it on tape! Ta-da! Does it matter that my hand keeps getting cut off like this? See? See?
You're doing good so far, guys. You're doing good.
Our cheerleader. You make me scoot over so far and then my hands get cut off, see?
Well, they don't think it fell off.
I'll have to restrict my arm movements to here. This. Oh, no. There. Okay. But definitely, we'd love to...
I don't
I don't know either.
So I got a stick